Hello everyone, my name is Sakshi from St. Peter's Law Academy and I'm back with another video. This time we will be talking about a landmark judgment of Supreme Court on Section 15 of Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. The Supreme Court in this judgment gave a very landmark verdict on whether watching child pornography is a crime under POCSO. The Supreme Court held that mere possession, storage, or viewing of child pornography will be punished under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. The name of this case is Just Rights for Children Alliance versus S. Harish. The date of the judgment is 23rd September 2024. The judgment was given by a division bench of Supreme Court constituting of the then Chief Justice Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Honorable Justice J.B. Pardiwala. Talking about the details of the case, the name of the case is Just Rights for Children Alliance versus S. Harish. The bench is a division bench of Supreme Court. The date of the judgment is 23rd September 2024. The sections referred here are Section 15, Subsection 1 of POCSO 2012 and Section 67B of the IT Act 2000. Here, the petitioners, or as we call the appellants in this case, are the NGOs, Just Rights for Children Alliance and Bachpan Bachao Andolan. Now, a quick question for you all. Who started the Bachpan Bachao Andolan? Just a cue for the guess that this person is a Nobel Prize winner from India. Secondly, the respondents is in this case the sole accused S. Harish and the state. Before we delve into the case, the facts, the issues, the judgment laid down by the Supreme Court, we will be talking about POCSO, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. Why it was enacted? There were offences contained in IPC, the Indian Penal Code, and there were offences punishing sexual harassment against children and women. So why a specific legislation? Why the need of a specific legislation is needed? This is because in India, there was not a special law related to protection of children from these offences. Children, women, all of these groups come under vulnerable groups. If we talk about these vulnerable groups, they need a specific legislation combating crimes against them. Therefore, POCSO was enacted, which established proper and stringent punishments for harassment offences against the children, that is the children, the minors below 18 years of age, and also established special courts for trial of these crimes. Before we delve into crimes against minors and what is child pornography in general, which is discussed in this case, if we talk about the definition of child, the definition of child under this case is any person who is below the age of 18 years. So specifically, this act covers all the minors for all the offences which are committed against them. Child pornography in this act means that any visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct involving a child. So this visual depiction can involve an image, a photograph, a video, or any other digital or computer generated image where a normal child is involved, displaying him in a very sexually explicit position. So therefore, we are clear on the definition of child and child pornography, which constitute the main elements of this judgment. Now, referring to the main section referred in this judgment, which is Section 15 of POCSO. Section 15 of POCSO underwent a major transformation under the 2019 amendment done by the legislature. Here, the three subsections were created. I will explain them one by one. The punishment for storage of pornographic material involving a child. Section 15 punishes such offences. So basically, in the first subsection, which is the major part of the judgment, by the way, any person who stores or possesses pornographic material involving a child and he fails to destroy, delete or report it to the designated authority. So, any person who stores or possesses such pornographic material and he fails to delete or destroy or report it, thereby presuming that he has an intention to share or transmit it. So basically, in this subsection, storage or possession of pornographic material is punished when a person fails to report it or destroy it or delete it. So basically, we presume an intention that he has the intention to share or transmit it without actually sharing or transmitting it. Here, he shall be the punishment prescribed it in the first conviction, punished with the fine of 5,000 rupees, and in the subsequent conviction, he is punished with the fine of 10,000 rupees. In the second subsection of Section 15, any person who stores or possesses pornographic material and here he is actually transmitting propagating or displaying or distributing it in any manner. So subsection 1 talked about failure to report. Subsection 2 talks about actual transmission or propagation of such material. So here it is said that the imprisonment, the punishment for such offences, either a description which may extend to 3 years or fine or both. Understood? The third subsection talks about storage or possession of such pornographic material with the intent of commercial purpose. So basically, the punishment which is prescribed here is, in the first conviction, not less than 3 years, which may extend to 5 years, and in the second conviction, it is 5 years, which may extend to 7 years. So before the 2019 amendment, which was made in POCSO, only the third subsection was punishable. Only if a person uses stores the child pornographic material with the intent to use it for the commercial purpose, only this offense was punishable under this section. However, after 2019 amendment, the legislature distinctively used 3 subsections where 3 separate intentions are punished. Now, referring to the second section which was referred in this judgment, section 67B of the IT Act. So, section 67B of IT Act deals with the exclusive child pornographic material which is transmitted or propagated. It was enacted, it was basically amended for the provision of child pornography, distinguishing it from adult pornography. So there should be a special section for child pornographic material and its transmission, and to make it more effective, there were 5 subsections divided. So if we talk about section 67B, punishment for publishing or transmitting of material depicting children in sexually explicit act, etc. in electronic form. So there are 5 subsections here. The subsection A says that any person who publishes or transmits or causes to publish or transmit such material. The second subsection says that any person who creates text or digital images, collects, seeks, browses, downloads, etc. depicting children in such sexually explicit manner. The third subsection states that any person who cultivates, entices or induces children online to form a sexual relationship and depicting them in a sexually explicit form. Subsection D punishes a person who facilitates abusing children online. Subsection E punishes a person who records in any electronic form abuse involving sexually explicit position where the children are kept in. Here, it is said that such offences, all the offences listed under section 67B are punished on first conviction with the imprisonment of 5 years and fine which may extend to 10 lakhs, and in the event of subsequent conviction, imprisonment of either description of which may extend to 7 years, and the fine can extend to 10 lakh rupees. So basically, first conviction, and in case of subsequent conviction, the person is punished with such imprisonment. So I discussed with you all the relevant sections which form the major part of the judgment, and the Supreme Court clarified on the scope of these sections, which we will talk in the next part. Now that I have discussed with you the relevant provisions which were discussed in this case, now we will be discussing about the facts of the case. So the facts of the case say that on 29th January 2020, an FIR was registered against the accused, stating that he was an active consumer of child pornography and has these videos in his phone. An FIR was registered against him under section 14(1) of POCSO and section 67B of IT Act 2000. Upon examination of the accused's phone, a charge sheet was filed on 19 September 2023, where the initial charge of section 14 was dropped, and the person was charged with the offence of section 15(1) of POCSO and section 67B of IT Act. So therefore, the initial charge was dropped, and the accused was charged with the offence of section 15, subsection 1 of POCSO. Just to have a look at what was the initial section involved under the case, section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO, the FIR was registered against him under this section. So this section punishes an individual for using child for pornographic purposes. Basically, any person who uses a child for pornographic purposes will be punished under this section. So this charge was dropped against him, and the person was charged with Section 15, subsection 1 of POCSO Act, where he was punished for the possession of such material. The accused agreed by the charge sheet, filed an appeal to the High Court under Section 482 of CRPC, thereby pleading the High Court to invoke its inherent powers and quash the charge sheet against him and all the criminal proceedings which are arising out of those charge sheets. Basically, on 11th January 2024, the High Court, invoking its inherent jurisdiction under Section 482 of CRPC, quashed the charge sheet against the accused. And the High Court gave 3 reasons for it. We'll discuss the 3 reasons here. Firstly, the High Court stated in its judgment that in order to constitute an offence under Section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO, a child should be used by the person for pornographic purposes. So basically, the High Court stated that mere watching or possession of such material will not lead to an offence under Section 14 of POCSO. So the person has just watched the child pornography. He just has the possession of such material. He has not used it for any purpose. So therefore, the accused cannot be convicted under this section. Secondly, the High Court stated that in order to constitute an offence under Section 67B of the IT Act 2000, any transmission, propagation, or any sharing of such material should be there. So the person here has just watched the material in privacy. He has not shared it. He just has the possession of such material. So it will not constitute an offence under Section 67B of the IT Act. Thirdly, the High Court placed reliance on Section 292 of IPC, which deals with sale of obscene books. It stated that merely watching such material, the accused has just watched this material, he had this material in his possession, but he has not transmitted such material, he has not shared this material, he has just watched it in his own privacy. So therefore, it will not be punishable under Section 292 of IPC. Therefore, the High Court quashed the charge sheet against the accused, stating that for all the offences, Section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO, Section 292 of IPC, and Section 67B of the IT Act, in order to constitute such offences, the ingredients of transmission have to be fulfilled, or downloading such material will not constitute an offence under these sections. Now, if you guys have must have noticed, the High Court here just judged the Section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO, which was initially dropped in the FIR. The High Court did not actually refer to the charge sheet which was filed under Section 15, subsection 1 of POCSO, which has led to the major case in the Supreme Court and thereby the landmark judgment. This judgment of the High Court led the appellants to appeal to the Supreme Court. The appellants contended that the High Court has made a major error in this judgment by not referring to the charge sheet which was filed under Section 15, subsection 1 of POCSO and not Section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO. The appellants also stated that this judgment could lead to a detrimental effect on the protection of children. Basically, the well-being of the children is protected under POCSO. Therefore, this judgment that merely watching child pornography will lead to a considerable amount of rise in the child porn cases and their abuse related to it. The High Court also failed to keep into view that Section 67B of the IT Act was introduced to deal with child pornography and its transmission. So basically, in order to provide more stringent punishment and to make the law more effective, the legislature introduced Section 67B for the protection of children itself. So therefore, if the High Court is stating that merely watching or downloading such material will not constitute an offence, it will create a very detrimental effect on the society at large and also on the victim. The appellants also brought into the Supreme Court's view that the High Court failed to take the account of presumption of culpable mental state of the accused under Section 30 of POCSO while dealing with the case of under Section 14. What were the arguments of the respondent in this case? The counsel for the respondent stated that the High Court has committed no error in the judgment. The FIR was filed under Section 14, subsection 1 of POCSO. So the accused has not committed any offence under this section. So the High Court was right in its judgment. The counsel for the respondent also stated that merely watching or downloading such child pornographic material will not actually lead to an offence under Section 15, subsection 1 of POCSO. What were the major issues before the Supreme Court? Firstly, it was what was the scope of Section 15 of POCSO? Secondly, is mere possessing, viewing or storing of child porn is a punishable offence under POCSO? Thirdly, what is the scope of section 67B of IT Act? And fourthly, what is the scope of section 30, which is the presumption of culpable mental state under POCSO? Discussing the first issue, the Supreme Court clarified that many high courts have given different judgments on section 15. Many high courts, some high courts state that merely watching or possessing of such material will not constitute an offense under section 15, while the other high courts have stated that yes, merely watching or downloading of such material will constitute an offense as it is detrimental for the well-being of the children. The high courts were clarified on this view by the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court clarified that with the 2019 amendment of POCSO under section 15, the legislature has very clearly made these three subsections independent of each other. There are three distinct offenses with three different actions and with three different intentions, and each of them are punishable under section 15. So firstly, if we talk about section 15 subsection 1, it punishes the failure to delete or destroy or report child pornographic material by the accused person who has it in his possession. He has not destroyed or deleted it. That means we will take a presumption that he has intention to share or transmit it. Section 15 subsection 2 punishes the actual transmission and propagation of such material. Subsection 3 punishes the storage or possession of such material with the intention of commercial purposes. Basically, these are three different offenses. With the actions of the action involving the first subsection involves that the person has not deleted such material, so he has an intention to transmit it. The second one is the actual transmission, and the third one is the use of such material for commercial purposes. So basically, these three offenses are independent of each other and they should not be tried all together. Any person who commits an offense under subsection addressing the second issue, that whether viewing, storage or possession of child pornographic material will be punished under POCSO, the Supreme Court clarified that the use of the words with an intention to share or transmit child pornography in the said provision makes it clear that no actual sharing or transmission is required. Addressing the issue whether merely viewing, storage or possession of such material is punishable under POCSO, the Supreme Court clarified that the use of the words with an intention to share or transmit does not actually require the actual sharing or transmission under this subsection. It only requires the intention to share or transmit such material because the person has failed to destroy, report or delete such material. So basically, the court emphasized that the concept of constructive possession here is used. In this concept, actual possession is not required, but if a person has control of such material in any form, that is by downloading, by storage, so the person will be punished under this section. The section punishes control of such pornographic material by a person, which is clear here. So yes, merely viewing, storage or not reporting the child pornographic material is punishable under section 15 subsection 1. The intention of the legislature was made clear with the use of the words in the section. They wanted to make the provision more stringent and more effective. Thereby, the words were used accordingly. Addressing the scope of section 67B of the IT Act, the Supreme Court stated that section 67B is a comprehensive provision which penalizes consumption of child pornography in any electronic form. So, section 67B consists of 5 offenses and the Supreme Court clarified the scope of each. So the first subsection punishes the direct or indirect involvement in dissemination of such material. The second subsection adds on to it by criminalizing the acts of creating, propagating or engaging or using child pornography. Subsection C makes enticing or inducing children through online relationships to make them or to put them in a sexually explicit position with the accused will be punishable under this section. Section 67B part D punishes any act that can likely aid, enable or support online sexual harassment of the children. And the last part criminalizes exposing or subjecting children to sexually explicit acts. So the court noted that section 67B does not only punishes the propagation of such material, but it punishes the storage or possession of such material also. Now talking about the scope of section 30 of the POCSO Act, which defines culpable mental state on the side of the accused, the Supreme Court clarified that under the offense which is committed under POCSO, the special court shall presume that the accused had a culpable mental state. Essentially, only after the foundational facts are laid down by the prosecution. If we talk about section 15 subsection 1, the foundational facts here include that the prosecution has laid down that the person had the storage or possession of child pornography and he has not deleted or destroyed it. So basically, he had an intention to transmit it. So here, the burden then shifts to the accused to prove that he had no such intention and he is innocent. So once the aforesaid foundational fact, which is the principle of foundational facts, if we talk about them, is established, culpable mental state is presumed under section 30. The court also noted that the presumption of culpable mental state was a very important aspect which should have been examined by the court before quashing the charge sheet. The Supreme Court stated that the high courts must be slow and circumspect and exercise some restraint while dealing such sensitive cases. Sensitive cases involving children in such form should be dealt very clearly and with very precise mind by the high courts. Supreme Court on the term child pornography. The Supreme Court stated that the term child pornography is actually a misnomer and it fails to capture the full extent of the crime a child has to go through. While dealing with such cases, child pornography as a term should not be used, whereas the term child sexual exploitation and abuse material, or CSEAM, is a more accurate term to depict the reality of such children. If we talk about pornography as a term, pornography and child pornography are two different terms. While dealing with pornography, the subjects here are basically consenting adults, while the children are not. So, pornography basically trivializes the extent of the crime which a child has to go through and the sexual exploitation and abuse he is subjected to. So, the Supreme Court addressed that this term should actually be discouraged to be used, and instead of that, the term CSEAM, which is child sexual exploitation and abuse material, should be used more by the people who are dealing with such crimes. Supreme Court on Madras High Court's judgment. The Supreme Court overturned High Court's judgment, stating that it has committed an error while quashing the criminal proceedings which were arising from the charge sheet against the accused. The child pornographic material that was recovered from the personal mobile phone of the accused clearly stated that he had the storage or possession of such material and he has failed to destroy or delete it with an intention to share or transmit it. So basically, the Supreme Court urged the police as well as the courts who are examining all the offences which are related to child abuse and child exploitation that they should not be in a hurry to dissolve these cases. If a case does not fall under one section of POCSO, the courts should examine that whether it falls under the second subsection or the other subsection of POCSO. The courts here should apply clear mind while dealing with cases which are so sensitive in nature that it will affect the victim at large. What did come out of the judgment? The court restored the proceedings, the criminal proceedings which were being carried out against the accused, and he is being subjected to trial next. The Supreme Court also issued some directions to the Ministry of Women and Children and also the Union of India, the Government of India, stating that they should implement comprehensive sex education programs and also create awareness on legal and ethical ramification on child pornography. The Supreme Court also directed the victims of child pornography be provided with psychological consultations and there should be more awareness on their rehabilitation. The Supreme Court urged the Government of India to constitute an expert committee that would devise a comprehensive plan on sex education and POCSO awareness among children and also among adults. The Supreme Court also urged the government amend the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act to also replace the word child pornography with CSEM to make it more effective and more stringent in use. Therefore, it was established under this case that yes, merely viewing, possessing or storage of such material will constitute an offence under POCSO. Thank you everyone. That's all from my side. Keep watching St. Peter's Law Academy. Follow, like, share and subscribe, and also comment down in the section below that what we can do to improve our videos. Thank you so much.